my name is Brittany and I will be introducing and teaching a biology-related topic by video today. I am making this video to fulfill a requirement for my Computer and Technology Applications in Education course. The topic that I have chosen is specialized cell types, and the cell type that I will be featuring is the neuron. Neurons are specialized cells within our bodies. They come in various shapes and sizes. Unipolar neurons are neurons specific to the cerebellum and the granule region of the dorsal cochlear nucleus in the spinal cord. Bipolar neurons are specialized sensory neurons for the transmission of special senses. These special senses include smell, sight, taste, hearing, and vestibular functions. Multipolar neurons are a type of neuron that possesses a single axon with dendrites, which are branched. Branched dendrites transmit a large quantity of information from other neurons. The dendrites and axonal processes are projections from the nerve cell body. Multipolar neurons are the most common type of neuron in the central nervous system. They include motor neurons and interneurons and are found mostly in the cortex of the brain and spinal cord, and also in the autonomic ganglia. Pseudo-unipolar neurons are sensory neurons that are an exception to the typical neuron because they don't have separate dendrites and axonal processes, but rather one branched process that serves both functions. The axon extends from the cell body in two directions, one toward the skin, joint, or muscle, and the other toward the spinal cord. I have chosen to focus on multipolar neurons for this presentation. Multipolar neurons have three distinct parts: branched dendrites that surround a cell body, an axon, which can be myelinated or lightly myelinated, and synapses. Dendrites are branched protoplasmic extensions of a nerve cell that propagate the electrochemical stimulation received from other neural cells to the cell body or soma, from which the dendrites project. The density of the branches of dendrites depend on the function of that neuron. Dendrites have receptors on their surfaces. These receptors are triggered in the presence of neurotransmitters, chemicals. Once the neurotransmitter binds with the receptor, it opens ion channels which allows charged ions to flow in and out of the cell. This changes the chemical signal from neurotransmitters to an electrical signal of ions. Once enough receptors are bound, the influx of ions change the voltage within the cell, and it reaches a threshold known as the action potential. Once the action potential is reached, the electrical signal races down the axon. In order to pass from dendrite to axon, the electrical signal must go through the cell body or soma, which holds the nucleus. In order for the electrical signal to travel down the length of the axon, ion channels open in a domino-like cascade. This process occurs due to depolarization. As the area within the cell becomes more positive, it opens up the adjacent channels. Shortly after the sodium channels, which are responsible for the sharp increase in positive charge, open, they close, and potassium ion channels open to reduce the positive charge within the cell. This recreates the negative charged environment for the cell. This process is known as repolarization. Once the environment reaches a negative 70 millivolt charge, the cell has reached its resting potential. The process of traveling down the neuron one step at a time is slow, and a stimulus would take too long to travel from the peripheral nerves to the brain. Instead, neurons are myelinated. The more myelinated a neuron, the faster the stimulus can travel. A myelinated nerve has an axon that is wrapped in Schwann cells. Oligodendrocytes are another type of cell, a glial cell, that helps to provide support and protection by creating the myelin sheath. These cells protect the axon and aid in saltatory conduction of the electrical stimulus. Saltatory conduction speeds the transmission of the stimulus down the axon. It does this because the depolarization jumps around the myelinated shaft of the axon from node of Ranvier to node of Ranvier until it reaches the axon terminals or synapses. Once the electrical stimulus reaches synapses, vesicles which hold neurotransmitters release those neurotransmitters in the synaptic cleft, where they will be received by dendrites. This starts the process all over again. Thank you for learning about neurons with me. I hope this short and sweet explanation helped your understanding. Feel free to leave comments and questions below.